Hello and greetings to all. It's been a while since I got on here and put together a video, so I thought it was about time that I do so. I am continuing the discussion of Huitzilopochtli, what he meant to the ancients and what he can mean to us today now as modern day people. Now, the topic of today is Coyolxauhqui, who is the main antagonist of the tale of Huitzilopochtli. I do have plenty of other videos in which I discuss the tale in detail, so please feel free to check those out. But just to quickly illustrate who Coyolxauhqui is in relation to the tale, she is his oldest sister not only to himself, but to the 400 Surianos, or Huitznahuatl, who endeavor to go after their mother, the earthen deity Coatlicue. And when Huitzilopochtli is born as a fully grown male in warrior's regalia, he goes after his brothers who are seeking to vanquish his mother, but Coyolxauhqui. Now, her name means something to the effect of decorated with bells, which is said to allude to prostitution and the flamboyant adornment worn by said individuals in order to attack potential customers. It has also been said that Coyolxauhqui represents the sins that are of a sexual nature: lasciviousness, lust, fornication, etc. Now, to me, since it is important that we approach these tales in a very individualistic way, I challenge everybody constantly to become an unbiased thinker, which means that you can pick up a book like the Bible, which is a compilation of books, or the Quran, and not necessarily seek to convert. It is just simply taking the worldview of another people in order to see your own people and your own situation reflected. I approach the tale of Huitzilopochtli in my own individual way, and as such, I see Coyolxauhqui not necessarily as the embodiment of sins that are of a sexual nature, which it could very well be so if that is the case of your own individual life. But I also see her in an application to my own life as the primary susceptibility that we have as flawed people, which plays the major role in keeping us from attaining our life's objectives and goals. For instance, a lot of us can really identify with the primary flaws in our existence as being drinking, perhaps, a gambling issue, being a womanizer, whatnot. And in my own life, I do have that main Coyolxauhqui, which is the main deterrent to my journey. I don't really want to go into detail yet, but maybe I will share in the future as I do in the work that I'm currently completing, because I do want to reach out to others who are in a similar situation and we can together make it out of it. Normally, for instance, in the case of people who are experiencing an addiction, while they may refrain from using the substance, it's very easy to a lot of us to tell drinkers, just don't drink. Stop smoking. Stop using drugs. However, even if they no longer participate in that substance abuse, be it alcohol, drugs, tobacco, this addictive nature shall manifest itself through other outlets. For instance, I've known of a lot of people who quit drinking or quit smoking or something, and then they start overeating. They start partaking of other activities in excess. Perhaps even idolizing a person is pretty much finding an outlet to that addictive trigger. So Coyolxauhqui is that main hindrance, which if it were to be removed, we would be saints of God. Not that we're trying to be so. The Huitznahuatl, on the other hand, are her achichincles, her foot soldiers, which altogether make it hard for you to take on this collective task of destroying and vanquishing all the enemies and adversaries that stand between you and making your dreams come true and whatnot. So identifying who your Coyolxauhqui is pretty much the main focus of any path toward redemption or whatnot, because you're going to find that everything that sprouts out is in reaction to this main vice, this main flaw. So, as we know, our valiant hero Huitzilopochtli set out with his weapon, the Xucoatl. I've gone into detail, and I will in the future, as to what that weapon, his weapon of choice, is. But pretty much, the main focus of the tale is not to devise a god for the people to worship. It is uh, a tale that each and every one of its elements holds so much teaching, and rather than take these teachings at face value, thus belittling our ancients by actually thinking that they believed that somebody can be born a full-grown adult in warrior's regalia, we ought to unearth the teachings that our ancestors sought to preserve in these tales. There's hyperbolic elements, which rather than inspire idolatry or senseless worship, they ought to establish a teaching. I will continue this conversation as to the enigmatic nature of not only Coyolxauhqui, but the arch nemesis of different tales, and how they play into the same universal concept of finding that inner fire within each and every one of us, and utilizing it to strengthen and empower us to sail out after our dreams, goals, and objectives. So please stay tuned for a continuation of this discussion. Like, comment, and share.